Hello, everybody. I'm Skip Alzheimer. Welcome to the AV Geeks Lunchtime Streaming Show, where we watch old 16mm films. And that was some raw footage for a film called, I believe it's called Your Job, Applying for It. Written on the can was just Job Apply, and then it was cans 1 through 4. So lots and lots and lots of footage, just raw footage that was not actually used in the final film. But yeah, he was working at a auto parts place. That was awesome. For those of you that remember Napa, the Napa film. All right. Say what you will. I'm a fun guy. So is this film.
Smuts, molds, rusts, mildews. Different kinds of fungi. Probably the fungi we know best are the ones that spoil our food. Literally thousands of types of fungi attack and destroy crops. Others attack our canned and preserved foods almost as soon as they're exposed to air. One of the best known fungi is bread mold. Fungi attack every kind of organic matter, even paper, wood, and cloth. Although we usually think of fungi as harmful, they can also be beneficial because many fungi decompose dead matter and return it to the soil. Along with bacteria, they recycle all the substances that make up life on Earth. Fungi are one of the necessary links in the cycle of life. Fungi have been on the Earth for millions of years, and they have adapted to survive in almost every environment. They can be found in the water, the soil, even in the air. Today, we know of at least 100,000 different species of fungi, and there may be more. The visible part of the fungi, what we can see with the naked eye, is called the mycelium. When we look closer, we can make out that the mycelium is made up of thousands of tiny threads or filaments. Under the microscope, we begin to enter their unique world. The filaments we see now extend from little ball-like shapes, the spores. With time-lapse photography, we can see that the filaments, or hyphae, grow out of the spores. As the fungus grows, the hyphae multiply and spread into the host organism. And slowly, the fungus digests its host. Some kind of fungi reproduce sexually through the union of two different spores. Others reproduce alone, asexually. Reproduction takes place on the end of the hyphae. The ball, called a sporangium, is really a spore case. Each sporangium contains thousands of spores. The spore case matures. It bursts open, setting free the thousands of new spores. Each of these develops new hyphal filaments. This process repeats itself over and over again until the food supply is exhausted. Some fungi secrete special poisons, antibiotics, to keep bacteria away from their food. More importantly for us, some of these antibiotics will also kill bacteria in people. Today, many of the miracle drugs of the 20th century, penicillin, streptomycin, terramycin, and others, are produced from antibiotics made naturally by fungi. The antibiotics are made by first providing a nutrient or food that the mold thrives in. The mold is aseptically removed from its container. Then it's streaked across the nutrient, depositing thousands of microscopic spores. The culture is warmed to speed the growth of the fungus. As the spores grow and produce hyphae, they also produce the miraculously effective antibiotics that later can be separated from the fungus and purified to be made into medicine. With the help of the lowly fungus, we have almost wiped out many diseases: bacterial pneumonia, typhoid fever, tuberculosis, scarlet fever, and dysentery, to name a few. Who knows what other life-saving secrets may be contained in the 100,000 species of fungi?
So that film was from Hungary, it looks like. Yeah, pretty great stuff. Beautiful. All right. A lot of times we think about how things and concepts relate to us individually. And this one is about geometry and you. Enjoy.
This is the new house to be built for the Wilkins family. Henry and Walter have been excited about the model ever since the architect delivered it the other night. Henry, the artist in the family, likes the beauty and proportion. Walter, who wants to be an engineer, admires the balance and the massive appearance. As a matter of fact, It is the geometry of the design that pleases both of them. The problem right now is a terrace. They want to add a porch over the east end of it. By enclosing this part of the terrace, the family will have a cozy outdoor spot in which to relax. How will the porch change the terrace and the appearance of the house, though? And what about those big windows on the south? Mother wants to know, will the porch cut off the winter sun that will help warm the living room? We wouldn't want to do that. And there's one way to be sure. Let's build the porch here, change the model to match the blueprints, and try it out. The geometry that helped build the model will help us add to it. For our geometric construction, we'll need some construction tools, a set of compasses, and a straight edge. We'll also use measuring tools, a protractor, and a scale. Now let's see. How large is the model? 3/8 of an inch on the model represents 1 foot on the actual house. And the blueprints? 1/4 inch represents 1 foot. So 3/8 compared to 1/4 is how much? It looks as though the dimensions of the model are just 1 1/2 times the corresponding dimensions of the blueprints. To build the porch, we'll have to construct similar rectangles, walls the same shape as those on the plan, but with larger dimensions, 1 1/2 times as large. So, before long, the porch begins to take shape. Now we're concerned with only 2 dimensions for each side, length and width. We don't bother with the thickness of the cardboard, and we speak of the walls as plane figures, considering them to be perfectly flat. Since these plane figures are drawn to scale and have the same shape as the plane figures on the blueprints, we shall call them similar figures. For the triangle of the gable in this print, we'll have to make another similar figure, a triangle 1 1/2 times as long and as high as this one. First, a straight line. The base of the triangle only 1 1/2 times as long as the base on the blueprint. Now to measure an angle. Line up the protractor with the center point at the vertex of the angle. Line up the 0 with the initial side of the angle. All right, there's a 20-degree angle. Now, 20 degrees, but what is Henry doing? 30 degrees? It looks as though he's making the angle 1 1/2 times as big as the one on the blueprint. What kind of a triangle do you think he's going to get out of that? Doesn't match the blueprint, does it, Henry? No, angles are not drawn to scale. To make similar triangles, that is, triangles of the same shape, their corresponding angles must be equal. The size of the angles always determines the shape of the triangle. So Walter marks off 20-degree angles on the cardboard and completes the triangle by extending the sides of these angles until they meet. Remember the geometric principle of similar triangles? It has been the same for 23 centuries, since Euclid, a Greek mathematician, determined some of the principles of the mathematical science of geometry. If 2 angles of one triangle are respectively equal to 2 angles of another triangle, the triangles are similar. The base of one is 1 1/2 times as long as the base of the other, so the other sides are also in the ratio of 1 1/2 to 1. These are similar figures. Now to finish, we add drawings on paper of the porch screens. And that was easy to do. Just match each wall with a cover the same size and shape. But this east wall with the triangular gable gives trouble. We need a triangle that just matches it. And it's hard to measure length up under the gable? Well, there's another geometric principle that will help us here. How does the theorem go? If two angles and the included side of one triangle are respectively equal to two angles and the included side of another, the triangles are congruent. The figures have not only the same shape, but the same size, and all their angles and sides are respectively equal. So we make a line equal to the baseline of the gable. And with the protractor, we lay out 20-degree angles, equal to the angles of the gable. This will make a triangle congruent to the triangle of the gable, all sides and angles respectively equal. This is only one of the ways we can make congruent triangles. When two figures are congruent, it means that one can be placed over the other so that all their respective parts will coincide. Well, geometric construction has enabled us to build the porch to the same scale as the rest of the house. And the porch does look attractive, doesn't it? It fits in with the lines of the house. Parallel lines, rectangles, geometric shapes, proportion. Yes, it takes those things to make a beautiful house. But wasn't there something about symmetry? That's a geometric idea too, isn't it? The main features on one side of this line are matched on the other side. Symmetry is an exact balance of shapes and lines on each side of a central axis. And each window is symmetrical too, balanced about a center line called the axis of symmetry. If you look around you, you'll recognize geometric forms in many buildings. In a large office building, we see rectangles, parallel lines, and perpendiculars. They are there because an architect used geometry in his plans, just as engineers who lay out great railroads and highways use geometry in their work. So too do the builders of locomotives, automobiles, and machines of all kinds. What modern machine could do its work without the circle? Look at the geometric precision of the printing press, whose wheels and cylinders bring us news of the world about us. A world of geometric shapes in steel, concrete, and in nature. For we even use geometry to determine the pattern of these fields. Through a geometric arc, the sun appears to move over the earth, over our homes. And what was it Henry and Walter wanted to know? Will the new porch reduce the amount of warming winter sunlight? How does the sun move? In this pamphlet, Walter has the geometric answer. Where they live, the winter sun reaches a peak at noon of about 30 degrees above the horizon. Now, let's arrange a model sun for our model house. This flood lamp will do. We'll move it through an arc similar to the arc of the sun. It should rise in the east, like this, to a noon position in line with this 30-degree triangle. Now let's see how much light reaches the living room windows. We can see that the full afternoon sun will warm the living room through the windows in the winter. Yes, geometry helped build the porch and proved that it was practical. No wonder Henry and Walter are eager to learn more about a mathematical science that is so important to all of us, the science of geometry.
Yeah, protractor, the compass, that we used to stab each other with when we were in grade school. All those great things. Let's learn about families of the world, specifically those in Zambia. Enjoy.
Its waters support the plant life of the tropical climate through the wet and dry seasons, and its fish are a source of food for the villagers. There is no regular contact with the outside world for the members of the Bemba tribe who live on the island. When a boat comes into the village harbor, it is enthusiastically greeted by the children of the village. The waters of Lake Bangweolu also provide a tropical playground for the island children and their elders. She sees there are no policemen on the island, but there are no thieves, and there is no electricity or public water system. There are no motor accidents on the sea because there are no trucks or cars to cause them. The most modern vehicle is a battered bicycle that belongs to the Mapoli family. Here in a rented store, which is part of the warehouse where the village oil and salt are stored, the richest man on the island conducts his business. Father Mapoli is a tailor, and with the help of his old-fashioned hand sewing machine, he practices what is considered to be the most modern profession in the village. He earns about $20 a month, which is twice that of most of his neighbors. Father Mapoli is not sure of his exact age, but he is certain that he has 11 children, ranging from a 3-year-old baby to his oldest son in the early 20s. He enjoys working with his outdated machine, especially when the work is supplemented now and then with a thirst-quenching drink from his bottle. While her husband works in his store, Mother Mapoli digs taro, a kind of potato, which she will use as the family's staple food. She and her daughter will peel, dry, and make a kind of flour out of the taro. The Mapoli sons provide an important source of food for the family by catching fish from Lake Bangweolu. Since a refrigerator is unheard of in Shishi, the boys simply go out in a canoe and catch as many fish as they need just before dinner. The 18-year-old eldest son suffered a disease called trachoma when he was young and lost the sight of one eye. The second son is 14, and both are in the same class in school. Now that you've seen how the Mapoli family works and lives, do you think that their way of life and the island's culture can survive in an industrial world? Seven-year-old Ivo comes to tell his father dinner is almost ready. The very nature of Father Mapoli's work, made possible because of a machine, small and crude though it is, shows that change has already come to the island's life. But what would happen to Father Mapoli and his family if a trader were to find that he could profitably sell ready-made clothes on the island? The use of Chisi's only bicycle, a great treat for little Ivo, already represents an assimilation of Western ideas, and there have been other changes. The people of Chishi no longer live a communal tribal existence, and today the family units like the Mapolis have become very important. They use a sewing machine and a bicycle, and as you continue to watch them, What are some other changes you can see being made in the Mople's life by outside influences? At home, the mother and daughters are pounding taro with wooden paddles. It has already been peeled and left to dry before it is made into flour in the traditional manner. The girl working alongside her mother is Cornelia, the 22-year-old second daughter. All the food required by the family is prepared in this simple, self-sufficient way. The Mople's bicycle suffers a flat tire on the way home and has to be pushed the rest of the way. On reaching home, Father Mople is greeted by his 10th daughter. The 3-year-old toddling after her is the 11th child and the youngest of the family. Even though the Mople's raise a few chickens, eggs are rarely added to the diet. Hot water is poured over the taro, which is kneaded into a kind of starch cake before it is served. Homemade cups carved from gourds are used for drinking water. Mother Mople prepares the food for her large family, and a simple meal is quite an undertaking, even with the help of a very young daughter. Few households on the island use soap. Why is this custom of the Mople family considered strange? Finally, the meal is ready. But according to custom, the family does not eat together. The women and children eat alone on the ground in front of the house. Every family on the island has the same menu of taro, cooked beans, and fish, repeated day after day. How can you account for this lack of variety in meals? Inside, in a room decorated with an old calendar, Father Mople and his eldest son dine alone. You'll notice that they sit very properly in chairs at a table and eat with forks. According to tradition, grown men do not eat with women and children, and this custom seems perfectly natural to all the members of the Mople family. What do these two separate facts tell us about Zambian culture today? But even the isolated island of Shisi is part of the new independent Africa, however, and the role of women is changing. A Zambia newspaper poll indicated that most men disapproved of the practice of striking their wives. Finally, another day is over in the life of the Mople family. You can see what a simple house they live in. There are gourds for storing water, and the younger children sleep in the same bed. Remember, this is the house of the richest man on the island. What does that tell us about the people of Zambia living on Shishi? During the night, a heavy windstorm lashes the island. Since it's the dry season, there is no rain, and the villagers are used to the pounding waves that are the result of these violent winds. The next morning, the windstorm has died down, and the waters of Lake Bangweolu are calm once more. The Mapali children are getting ready to go to school, and as usual, they wash and scrub their teeth on the shore of Lake Bangweolu. You can see how important the lake is to the villagers' well-being. And the children are accustomed to scrubbing their teeth each morning. Is this the way you brush your teeth? If, of course, you do each morning. An old brake drum serves as the school bell, and children from the island village come running as the school day begins. When the children arrive, there is great excitement when they learn that much of the school's thatch roof has been blown down by last night's high winds. Now, this doesn't mean that the students will enjoy a holiday. On the contrary, although there are no workmen available, Shishi is an island where even the children learn to be self-sufficient. The pupils seem to welcome the chance to repair the school roof under the direction of their teachers. The teacher of this mathematics class is Ustina, the oldest daughter of Father Ma. Upon graduation from junior high school, she became a substitute teacher. Father Mapali can be proud of his daughter, for she is one of the best educated villagers on the island. A new emphasis on education has come to the remote island of Shishi, for children must now go to school in Zambia at age 7 and continue for at least 7 years. The actual rate of school attendance, despite the official law, is about 70%. But this is rather high for the newly independent African countries. In addition to such subjects as mathematics, the children of Shishi study English from the 4th grade. Unlike their parents, who speak only the tribal Bemba dialect, the children of Shishi are learning the language of the larger world beyond the shores of Lake Bangweolu. Can you think of reasons why the people of Shishi should learn English? In the country of Zambia, there are some 60 different tribes, and the villagers of Shishi belong to the Bemba, one of the 3 largest. The old tribal communities have broken down with the coming of political nationalism, compulsory education, and a higher economic level. Yet the custom of communal farming is still practiced by the women of Shishi as part of their traditional tribal duties. Father Mapali works at his trade of tailor on the island. But the new economic development of the country has caused many of the younger men to leave their families and seek employment in the copper mines, Zambia's principal industry. For those villagers left on Shishi, some kind of shared communal life may closely resemble the old tribal community. Now, what does all this tell us about the changing nature of Zambian culture? Every Sunday, the Mapalis go to the only church on the island wearing their Sunday best. Since Father Mapali is a tailor, it is relatively easy for him to provide his family with nice clothes. The village school teachers, who could also be called community leaders, are active in the church activities on the island. The missionary priest, who has been active for the past 10 years in the Lake Banguayulu area, comes in a motorboat from the other side of the lake every Sunday. Mass is conducted in a mixture of the Bemba language and church Latin. The missionaries' teaching has had a great effect upon the islanders. For example, the custom of buying a wife as a matter of course, and the practice of having more than one wife cross cabin cruiser, a kind of mobile outpatient clinic, appears in the village harbor. Of all the craft that comes to Shishi, the arrival of the Red Cross boat is perhaps one of the most welcome. A young Dutch nurse is in charge of the boat's medical team. To the islanders who have no full-time doctor, the visit of this nurse and the Red Cross boat represent the coming of modern medicine to Shishi. Such mobile health clinics take part in the Zambian government's Under 5 clinic plan. Have you ever been weighed this way? Are you sure? With the departure of the Red Cross boat, the island returns to its former quiet peace. The young girls knit intricate patterns under the African banana trees. Soon they will have to find shelter indoors with the coming of the rainy season. For the present, Shishi and its families live in a sort of isolated tranquility. But new ideas and a new world are surely coming across the waters of Lake Banguayulu.
Oh, what was that about? Most men don't beat their wives or don't believe in beating their wives, and then buying their wives and then multiple wives. That was, I'm guessing that was an accidental thing that was because of a splice break. But man, I don't know. That was it's fascinating. All right, so behind me I have a film. Behind me I have a. Sometimes I get it right there. You see that's a film scanner. We have a film set up. I'm sorry and you're welcome. Enjoy.
I'm sorry, we're not hiring. But I must have a job.
I'm sorry. Business has been terrible. President Fizzler is in an emergency meeting right now.
We are ruined. No one is buying fizzle sticks. We will soon have to send the workers home. The whole planet of Fargon is ruined.
I have an idea, Mr. Fizzler. Everyone here on Fargon has learned to speak English by watching Earth TV. All the planets in this galaxy have learned English. So let's write books in English.
That's nonsense, Far Out. There's not a written word of English on the planet Fargon. Ridiculous.
We can send to Earth's language lab for the written words we need.
As Vice President, I protest this madness.
Quiet, Deep Six. I think we're saved. Wonderful idea, Far Out. I'm making you a partner in the business. From now on, it's Fizzler and Far Out.
You chose his crackpot ideas over my brilliant schemes. You make him a partner? Far Out? That's too much. I quit. But I'll fix them. Ha ha. They haven't heard the last of me.
Here is the poster for our language lab special, Dr. Langley. Special this month only. 10 boxes, nouns, to name persons, places, and things. 4 boxes, adjectives, descriptive words telling what kind and how many. 5 boxes, verbs, to tell actions. 4 boxes, adverbs, descriptive words to tell details of where, when, and how. And 1 box, miscellaneous.
Fabulous. We have just received an order from Fizzler and Far Out on the planet Fargon. Our special this month is just what they need.
I will instruct the warehouse to assemble the order right away.
You are doing very well for your first day, Waldo. How is the Fargon order coming?
I have about half of it here, but I have a question. Why are there 2 kinds of nouns here? If I don't know the difference, will the Fargon people know?
You can find out just like they will. Look inside the lid of the box.
Common noun names a person, place, or thing. Also names qualities like kindness and ideas like freedom. I thought all nouns did that. How is a proper noun different?
Look and see.
Proper noun names a particular person, place, or thing. A proper noun always begins with a capital letter. A particular person, place, or thing? Oh, I'll just compare some of these. Let's see. Dog is a common noun, but Rover means a certain or particular dog, so Rover is a proper noun. City is a common noun, but New York is a proper noun. Girl, common noun. Maria, proper noun.
You learn fast, Waldo, and that is good, because you have to have these boxes closed up in 5 minutes to be in time for the freighter to Omega Galaxy. It wasn't hard at all to sneak into this space freighter. Now, I'll teach Fizzler and Far Out to shortchange me. Give him a burst with the stun gun. Then we'll grab the words and escape in the space coop.
There's too many boxes to take on a space coop.
You're right. Okay, we'll take the pronouns. They might not even miss them. Then they'll get themselves in trouble.
Captain, we've been hijacked. They gave me a blast with the stun gun and stole 2 boxes. Pronouns, I think.
What shall we do, Captain?
We'll deliver the words we have left, but I don't think we need to get the Fargon people all upset by telling them. We'll report the hijack to the Space Patrol. They might even recover the goods before they're missed.
a lot of them. We have common nouns, proper nouns, adjectives, adverbs, and one box of miscellaneous.
I thought there would be more. Some must be missing.
Don't be silly. Let's get started.
Language lab, this is Space Patrol ship Comet. We need assistance to recover a shipment of pronouns.
Recover pronouns? I don't understand.
Several boxes of pronouns were reported hijacked from the space freighter Starload en route to the planet Fargon.
By Jupiter, what nerve!
Please give me a brief description of what we're looking for.
Certainly, Captain. Ralph, punch up personal pronouns and then possessive pronouns on the display unit, please. I'm going to show you some very common pronouns, Captain. These are personal pronouns, Captain, used in place of nouns. These are possessive pronouns. They are used to show that something belongs to someone.
Thank you, Doctor. Now we'll get right after that hijacker.
Good luck, Captain. Without pronouns, those fellows on Fargon will be doing some mighty strange writing. Ralph, I think we'll update your pronoun program and send you on a mission to Fargon.
At last, Far Out, we're saved. Success and prosperity for Fargon are right here in the pages of our books.
The printing is nice, but there is something strange about the writing. As the creature wagged the creature's three tails, Vardock took off Vardoc's cap and handed the princess long-lost crown. Creature? Vardock took off Vardoc's cap. Princess? Hey, same words over and over. That's kind of strange.
Strange? Oh, we won't have bestsellers if the writing is strange. Let me see a page. Angrily, the evil Rustic growled. Rustic thinks Rustic's plan has failed Rustic. Rustic? It is strange. We're ruined again. Oh, what happened?
I don't know what happened. I just don't know what's wrong.
But I know what's wrong.
Who are you?
Ralph Robot, from the language lab.
Why are you here? What is going on around here?
Your shipment of words arrived without any pronouns. The pronouns you need were hijacked. The Space Patrol is after a man named Deep Six.
That scoundrel, he's ruined us.
But why do we need pronouns? These sentences seem full enough already.
Exactly. They are too full of nouns. So full of nouns, they are clumsy and sound funny.
Clumsy and funny? We're ruined!
What shall we do?
I will show you. If the Space Patrol recovers your pronouns, you can replace one of the creatures, one Vardock, and one princess with pronouns. In this sentence, you can replace one Rostic with the pronoun I, another with the pronoun my, and the third with the pronoun me. If these sentences used pronouns, they wouldn't sound so foolish.
But we don't have any pronouns. Oh, Fargon is ruined.
No, Mr. Fizzler, maybe not. Look, a Space Patrol cruiser. It must be bringing our pronouns.
Most certainly, and I will stand by to assist you in placing them.
We're saved. We'll show that Deep Six.
Mr. Deep Six, you are found guilty of hijacking 3 types of pronouns. Personal pronouns, which are used in place of nouns that name persons or things. Possessive pronouns that show who things belong to. And relative pronouns that show relationships between things and people. Pronouns are important. This is a serious crime. However, as all the pronouns were recovered undamaged...
Your Honor, only the personal and possessive pronouns were recovered. The relative pronouns were lost in space. Until more relative pronouns are manufactured, Everyone will have to write with personal and possessive pronouns.
In that case, Mr. Deep Six, you will be the subject of a sentence, which, like all sentences, expresses a complete thought.
Your Honor, the sentence isn't ready yet. We ran out of verbs.
Then this case will be continued sometime next week.
The new pages using pronouns have just started coming off the presses, Mr. Fizzler.
I hope they're not funny and foolish like the other ones. Let me see some.
Here's a new copy of the first page we looked at. I've marked the pronouns we're using and made an arrow to the noun they stand in place of.
As the creature wagged its three tails, Vardock took off his cap and handed the princess her long-lost crown. Oh, that's much nicer.
Look at this one. Angrily, the evil rustic growled, "I think my plan has failed me."
That's amazing. 3 different pronouns to take the place of the word rustic. The meaning is correct, and it sounds so much better.
Here's another, the way it was without pronouns. Gorf and Grista won the lottery. Gorf and Grista are buying a rocket. The rocket will soon be Gorf's and Grista's.
And now, Gorf and Grista won the lottery. They are buying a rocket. It will soon be theirs. What a difference 3 pronouns make.
You see why we needed pronouns?
Yes, sir. The right pronoun in the right place makes a big difference. We're saved! Come on, Far Out. Get those presses rolling.
Your application looks just fine. You're hired.
Wonderful. When do I start?
You can start tomorrow with our Fizzler and Far Out noun and pronoun course.
Noun and pronoun course?
Yes. We had some trouble with nouns and pronouns, so we have all our employees take the course.
That's okay with me. Do you have a good instructor?
They don't make 'em any better.
We are coming to the close of the Fizzler and Far Out course on nouns and pronouns. We will now have a few questions and answers to complete your programming. Consider these words: girl, city, book. Do you remember what we call these words that name a person, place, or thing, or ideas like freedom?
Nouns.
Right. They are called nouns. Here are words with similar meaning: Alice, New York, Little Women. They are also nouns. Please recall the different names for these different kinds of nouns. First, these on the left.
Common nouns.
That is correct. A common noun names any person, place, or thing. And what do we call these nouns at the right?
Proper nouns with capitals.
Correct. A proper noun names a particular person, place, or thing, and always begins with a capital letter. I now consider you are programmed with this information on common and proper nouns. We will now review pronouns, words that can stand in place of a noun. If the person shown here is talking or writing, what pronouns should be used to complete these statements?
I am angry. Give the slipper to me. The slipper is mine.
Now we are talking or writing about what we see. What pronouns do we use to complete these statements?
This is a rocket. It is falling.
This is Mary. She is 12. This is her present. The present is hers. Give it to her.
What pronouns would you use to talk about Juan?
He is 12. This is his present. Give it to him.
You are now to imagine that these people are talking or writing. Select the correct pronoun to complete these statements if the people in the drawing are speaking or writing.
We are happy. Give the presents to us. The presents are ours.
Now, this group has finished talking about themselves. We shall now talk about this group. What pronouns shall we use to complete these statements?
They are happy. Give the presents to them. The presents are theirs.
This class has done well. You have chosen pronouns with the correct meaning to show possession and take the place of nouns. We have reached the end of my noun and pronoun instruction program. I am programmed to return to the language lab at this time. Earth audiences are returned to control of their Earth teachers for further activities with language.
I'm sorry, and you're welcome. That was truly horrible. And I have others in that series, so I knew what was going to happen. And again, the puppets, not bad, but man, like, why all this like extra story? And like, why did it have to be 20 plus minutes? Like, make it 11 minutes, make it concise. Oh, holy cow. Woo! We will space those out, because I have others in that series, but maybe one a year or one every 2 years we'll watch. Yikes. Anyhow, thanks for joining us today. Not everything was like that. There was definitely some interesting things, but that, oof. But if you like what you saw, or at least like the concept of what we do here, like that last film might have just driven everybody away, hit the thumbs up button, hit the like button. Those are ways to support us. You can also donate via the Super Thanks button. And you can also go to ko-fi.com/avgeeks or patreon.com/avgeeks. Those are ways to help support us. Just with Patreon members alone, we're paying enough to get one storage unit, which is great because we have 6 now, and we will probably need more before we're done, because we're basically emptying out the films, and so we can do some renovation work to make the rooms in the back of the archive better for film, as far as climate control, and also just better, because this is a boarding house that was built, part of it was built in the 40s, 70s, etc., and so we're going in and trying to make it better. Yikes. Alright. What else was I going to say? Oh yeah, like, watch other films that we have on the YouTube channel. We're getting ad revenue again from those, and those also help pay for storage units. And we're trying to get new stuff up there all the time. So, thanks again for tuning in, and we will see you on Monday. Yeah. Everybody take care. Have a great weekend. Relax. See you soon. Bye.